I thought it's stone. If you never tell me it's deer horn, that I will not think of like what is the material and how you get it, you know. But like a deer, it's originally like the horn of deer is originally animal.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's from the same time. The same people which were using the horns as the handle for a knife or for the flint blade. Right. The same people were basically using some sacrificing system. It's basically the same time, you know.
Yeah, you are one of the signature of the Charter 77. So maybe we can talk a little bit about...
It's almost unbelievable now, you know, it's so many years back. Well, you know, I was 24 when I met people from Charter 77. I was 24 and I was pissed off. I had just about enough of that shit here, you know, all this bullshit, all these lies and all these cretins which were basically ruling institutions or so. I was like, what the fuck I'm doing here? I have to get somehow out of this system somehow. And the only way how to get out of the system for me to join some group of people which were equally pissed and had enough. And that was the people around, all these people around Charter 77. So that's why I joined that. And I was like, I'm not, you know, if I am not signing it, who else should? I mean, I had nothing to lose at all. I had just this, you know, it was just less crowded. Right. You know, and it was like, okay, so I'm joining in. And I liked the people. I could respect some people, you know. Yes. So I was not completely on the begin. I came up like half year later, you know, with my signature. And so as soon they saw my signature, I got the letter from the police. I should come over, and they want to ask me some questions. Of course, I knew what questions, you know. So I came there, and they were like asking me, you know, all these, you know, like. How did I met them, you know, the people from Charter. I was just a young kid, 24. I was nothing. I was just a, you know, normal worker, you know. I didn't have any specification. Nobody knew I'm jeweler, you know. Nobody knew that. At that time I was already doing jewelry. And so they only were asking me, you know, they were sure that they will convince me to call off my signature or something like that. They did it, you know, with people. They were very happy when they reached that. So pretty soon they started to understand that it's not going to happen with me. I may be just some stupid worker, but I'm definitely not that stupid. But I saw pretty soon that I'm ready to go to prison, you know, that they're working on it. I was like, well, Pavel, do you want to go to prison? No. So what should I do? Fucking beat it, you know? So my mother said, beat it. Go.
True.
And she knew she will never see me again in my life. And she said, you have to go. I don't want to see you going in prison. You are terrible. You're terrible. You are heartnecked. You know, you will go to prison. I know you. Go, escape, somehow, get out.
Right.
So I got out. Huh?
And then you said that you went to Germany. Yeah. Maybe, so how...
they were fascinated by my passport because I basically changed the photo and everything. So they were impressed, you know, because it was a really professional work.
It's artworks.
That was my first artwork, which was in the museum. True. Not the Museum of Art and Museum of Emigration. You know? There is
it still here?
Yeah, it's in Frankfurt, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't have it, you know. They asked me if I could donate it to the museum, you know. I got my new passport in Germany. I didn't want this piece of shit, this Czech passport. So I gave it to them. So that was my first piece in the museum collection.
Okay, that's interesting.
They were very impressed. And they asked me, how did I do it? I mean, do I have some, some like education in that field? I said, no, my only education was the film Czech, you know, how he was changing the document. I really liked it. I was like, I could try it too, you know, and it did work. took me 3 years to
3 years.
understand. It took me almost 3 years to understand then that's not the country and that's not the place where I can become artist. It was like I saw this, old-fashioned way of doing things, and have to study academy on all that nonsense, which I already didn't want to do here. I refused to be part of that system, and there it was basically very similar. We had to be part. It was, of course, different, but still, I had to go to some school. I didn't feel like to go to school. I was sure I'm finished, I'm ready. And I was ready, I was ready.
Right.
So I went to New York, and in 2 months I had my first exhibition. 2 months later.
Right. But like...
In the gallery in New York, everybody was like, what? You just came, you don't even speak English yet. I said, well, my work is good, that's what counts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just in 2 months.
It was a long story. I ran to this lady which needed some craftsmen who can carve ivory. And she asked me if I carve ivory, and I was already told by my friends in New York, you say yes to any question.
Right.
Otherwise, otherwise nobody will pay attention to you, will not take you seriously. So I said, yes, of course, then never worked in it, of course, in ivory. So she gave me number of address of place I can buy ivory. At that time was still legal, normal. So I went there. There was this old Indian, really, it was a Cherokee Indian. And he was doing business with ivory. So I bought some ivory from him for this lady to carve some pieces to show her that I can really carve.
Yes.
And I show it to her. She was absolutely amazed.
Yeah.
So she was sure I work whole life on it, and I'm total professional. It was my first piece in ivory I showed her.
Yeah, right. So then you spent like almost 1 decade there in New York.
Yeah, but not with her. I spent only about 1.5 years, and then she started to bother me, and she had always some complaints. It was better, and she had more and more complaints,
Yeah.
She was trying to control me.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
So I told her, fuck you. That was it.
Right.
She never found anybody like me anymore,
True.
No craftsman like that in New York. Forget it, I was the only one,
Yeah.
And I was really very quickly developing my work in ivory to such a degree. I'm in all these museums and collections, So I was really fast learning,
Yeah.
I'm always fast learning, working in every material.
Right.
I'm really good in it.
Yeah.
So I was doing, from that moment, I knew I will have a trouble because that was a secure income, and all of a sudden I didn't have it. But I was like, no way, I'm not doing any compromise anymore. I am going to do my work, show my work, and maybe selling my work. It was a great time for me as an artist. I was married there also, and everything somehow ran out of steam. My marriage ran out of steam. I did some last work which was interesting, but I felt like I need to be able to do big work somewhere. I was working in this atelier in third floor. And I was like, I couldn't bring like big stones there or no.
Yes.
So I felt like I'm ready for something, to grow as an artist. And I had a sentiment to come back, to see it when it changed. I wanted to see the change. Plus I knew some people which I knew from the Charter 77 basically became part of the politics. Havel became the president. It was like, it was amazing. It was like a dream became the truth.
Yeah.
So I came back.
Yeah.
And in 1 week I was in prison. 1 week.
Yeah.
Because the stupid neo-Nazis.
Yeah,
Here,
true.
I never saw any neo-Nazis in Brooklyn. They would not survive 1 day there, They would get killed by the black Puerto Ricans and so, I was one of few white guys who were living there. And they liked me because I was an artist, But, basically, any neo-Nazi would be immediately exterminated.
Yeah. So you, the very beginning when you decided to come back, that you're having like very excited. Like, you have this
things
kind of-
change. I just had like week before 5 guys from Prague, friends of some of my friends, came. So I let them stay in my place because I had a quite big apartment, and they were like, we were watching the TV, how things are changing, how Berlin, the wall in Berlin is falling, and I was like, well, it's in a couple of days, it's in Prague too. So never. In Prague it will never happen.
Oh.
Well, in 5 days it happened in Prague. There was this, riot on the Národní třída. It was like 1 week later,
Yes.
So they were like shocked. And I said, well, guys, I told you, you are only for a few days here. So now you have two possibilities. Go back home or go somewhere else, somewhere in the US. So they said goodbye and they disappeared somewhere. I don't know where they are. It was very exciting period, It was, everything was possible, We're talking about 1990, everything was possible. Everything looked like it's going to happen in the proper way. Of course, we were naive, now we know it, but I was one of those naive ones,
Yeah. But it must be very
It
interesting.
was exciting. I mean, there were parties on the Winterplatz Square.
Yeah.
There was some band playing, or people were dancing. I was there many times. Like every night, I was somewhere like that.
Right.
Before I met these Nazis.
Yeah. And then, so you said you have to spend like some years in the detention because of the.
Well, they told me. I mean, not the police. They were very nice to me actually. Police were great. They told me. Then. It is possibly clear case of self-defense. They have to think very well, remember very well how it happened, which they basically give me hint what I should be really watching and careful, about my expression.
Yeah.
So because I'm not stupid, I understood immediately what they mean, and I spoke the way I spoke, and I always said the same thing, even though I didn't quite remember everything, but I kept saying the same thing all over for years until they finally, quitted me.
Yeah. So it was like 3 years in the
No, I spent only 2 months, in the jail, and then they let me out. And the court case was taking 4 years.
Okay.
That was taking 4 years, but I was a free man in the meantime.
Right.
All I had to watch that I am not running into some gang of skinheads, And when I was going to court building, I really had to have my own bodyguards.
Right. Wow. That's.
Yeah.
That's really.
They were waiting there, They were really waiting there.
It's probably quite surreal for you.
It was absolutely fantastic. I had bodyguards all over. I had more bodyguards than president. I had, the last day when they were finally quitting me, I had like 50 bodyguards.
Really?
50 bodyguards.
50?
Yeah, the whole police. Black. They had these black uniforms. It was a private police.
Oh my God, that's
I
weird.
hired them for the court. I got money for that.
Oh, that's weird.
Because the state didn't want to be responsible for me getting killed at the building,
Oh, wow.
So they gave me, support, and they had their own, policeman, and I had my own policeman. So I had like a little army.
Wow.
But there were like 3 times or 4 times more skinheads waiting for me outside.
No way.
Bad luck.
No way.
I had this gang, this army around me,
Do you
my
remember?
own legion.
Yeah. So maybe we can talk about like how did you start to work on this series of the sacrifice stone, and what is the idea behind that?
I am totally anti-religious, I can almost say then the religious system, the religion as a, as the system where the religion is basically ruling, is for me absolutely unacceptable, you know. That's another way of, you know, repressing people, you know. It doesn't matter if you call it communism or Catholicism, you know, it's the same shit on it, you know. So I was basically always, all my work were, but funny thing is that my work always was in the way sacral. But sacral doesn't mean religious, you know, there is a big difference. So definitely. My work is a sacral. I am actually occupying my mind with a higher, deeper, you know, senses and understanding of universe and the role of the human in the. But what I hate when some religion comes tell you what to do, you know. So my work was sacral but anti-religious, you know.
Yes, definitely. I can totally relate because myself I don't have like a religious belief, but I really feel like this sense of spiritual and like we have a higher probably self is really important. Actually, for
and even and you very well showed it in your performance. If you are going to be sacrificed, then you have to have very good reason to be the sacrifice human. You really feel you have to understand the reason why you became the no, I don't want to use the word victim, but it doesn't come any other one. But offer, you know, offer. You want to offer in the way you part of your life, or maybe part of your left time of living, or part of your constable way of living. You all that. You can sacrifice only when you have very good reason for it.
But you get into this idea to sacrifice a human body, and what actually make you motivated to do this?
No, because the people are being sacrificed all the time, you know, and not only religions, but all different governments, and everybody is constantly sacrificing somebody, and they usually sacrificing, you know, sacrificing those which they should actually honor mostly, you know. So that's why it has a human shape, but it still is sacral, you know. It's still there is still a little space for deeper experience, you know. But at the same time. It's basically sacrificed on for a human, for human body, you know. So what happens with the mind is a question, but it's definitely the human body which is going to be sacrificed in that stone.
Why would you actually thought of like having this idea to give the space, not just put the person there, but like actually let the blood come down from the stone? Like, do you have like some thoughts on it, like, and why actually you try to make it looks like it at the moment?
I when I did first piece, it didn't have a channel, and I was looking at it, I was like, well, this looks like coughing. I don't want that looking like coughing. It must be more about action in it, not just put down dead body. I want a live body, and then being sacrificed. And then it came to my mind. I remember that I saw these stone tables in the part of the hospital where they, you know, when somebody dies, they sort of, you know, cut them apart, and they had these channels for blood.
Really?
That came up to my my mind. I was like, yes, it needs to have a channels for the blood or some other body liquids, you know, which makes the sacrifice definite, you know.
This is probably your first performance, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So
this is my own story.
Right. But actually, I didn't yet show you the video because I'm still was busy on something else. But I will do the editing and then I will send you some. But so, what is your feeling? like for the first performance with your sacrifice stone arts
Well,
and with your best friend?
thanks to you, it was for me actually wonderful experience because I finally saw the perfect human personality, you know, actually dealing with the stone, understanding and behaving the way I was basically hoping for, you know.
Oh.
So for me it was a great experience.
Okay, I have to announce here that I have bought already my ticket to Hong Kong. Yeah, on the 21st of November. And I have the return ticket also on the probably 24th of December. So right, so oh, I'm not going to cry, but but
Well, all my hope which I am capable of is going to be with you, you know. Yeah, yeah. So I hope they will not keep my princess for themselves.
yeah, no, but I don't know, like oh my god, why am I crying? Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, you're putting yourself in the very sacrifice-like situation, you know. No.
Yeah, I know I'm a little bit kind of like weird that I know I can have my very nice life here in Prague.
But I understand why you're doing it. No, don't think I don't understand. I understand. I also came back from Europe. I didn't face any danger, but you know, it was going back to the country which I left for a very good reason.
Yeah.
So I knew I will run to some people which will, you know, be like they used to be. You know, they're not going to change that easily. And of course, I was right. You know, but you're putting yourself directly in the danger because you know what to expect from the government. But I understand why you're doing it.
Yeah. Whatever happened, and then the exhibition will go on, you know. Yeah. The artist and the curator will be together, put up the exhibition. Whatever, if I will be in danger or if I come back. I mean, that's, Oh my god, I didn't plan to cry, honestly. Yeah.